What is going on, people? We are 3 games into the 25-26 season, including 2 league matches and 1 FA Cup match. With those 270 plus minutes of football we've seen, there is no better time to take every little detail we've seen and overanalyze and overreact and create narratives for the rest of the season. So I'm going to start a new segment today where I look back at Coventry's performance every couple weeks or so, and I don't know exactly what it's going to be called, but it's a fire and ice section. What I mean by that is a couple players who I feel are on fire that I want to see continue, grow, and reach the levels that they can achieve. And then on the other hand, you probably guessed it, ice players are the ones that I think I want to see more from, and I may not exactly be the most happy with their performance so far. That doesn't mean I'm sacking them off or I'm writing them off. It means that they're players that I know have potential and need to improve their play before, they lose their job or anything else happens. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jonah Fack. I make EFL Championship, Premier League, and general football content. If you're new to the channel, drop a sub, comment down below. I respond to every comment. While you're down there, like the video. If you're a returning viewer and you're not subscribed, hit the sub button. You're already here. Why not? I appreciate it very much. It helps me grow the channel. So let's get into it. In typical pessimistic fashion, we're going to start with the ice player. So the first ice player that I have today is the goalkeeper, Carl Rushworth, who is on loan from Brighton Hove Albion. Now, we know that one of the main points of the offseason for Coventry City due to injuries was that a goalkeeper needed to be brought in. Despite the minimal activity in the transfer market as of August 18th, we did end up bringing in a goalkeeper, as I mentioned, Carl Rushworth. He's 24 years old. He spent time in the championship with Hull City. He spent time in the championship with Swansea. He actually even played with Matt Grimes, which is a fun little fact if you didn't know that. And when this guy came in, we all were just, don't fall in love with a lone player. This guy's going to be the savior for us. He's going to stay with us. We're going to get promoted to the Premier League. And when he had his first appearance for the club, he looked all of those things. He was really confident. He just had like an aura and a calming presence to him. Super vocal to the fans that were there for preseason games. Really calm on the ball. And I gotta be completely honest with you, the last week or two, so essentially I guess the last 3 games, I haven't really been seeing that confidence that he came in with. So that is the reason that he's an ice player. If you saw the preseason, I'm not gonna pull it back up, but he made 2 really big blunders with the ball at his feet. One not leading to a goal and one did lead to a goal. Like we all say, it's the preseason, it doesn't matter. But you do want to nip those in the butt going into the regular season, which for the most part he did. But I've definitely seen some things that are a little bit concerning. Nothing near the panic button yet, but just things that maybe you don't expect to be happening to someone of his, status. He's a great shot stopper, but we've seen some questionable decisions. So let's look at the goal that was conceded versus Hull this past Saturday. And sorry, no green screen, but we'll just quickly play it. So you've probably already seen it, but direct free kick right through his hands, top bins. Let's see if we can get another angle here. Now, many people debate whether or not he should have saved it. I at first did not think that he should have saved it, but looking back, take the angle into consideration, take where his hands are into consideration, I think that this is a savable ball. He should have just been all over that and just punched it away. Obviously not expecting him to catch it, but I was a little disappointed with that there. Ultimately, like most of the mistakes that our defense made this game, nothing came back to haunt us because we won, so you can only take it with a grain of salt, but it is a warning sign. And just the ball, when it's at his feet, he just does not look as confident as he did when he first came over. So that's something that I'm a little bit concerned about. Now, going forward, he definitely has been a really good shot stopper, but I want to see him continue that, so have some continuity there. But then I also want to see him parlay that natural ability that he has and work on better positioning, better composure with his ball at his feet, and then, maybe just getting a little bit better in transition. We haven't seen it too much. One of the main focal points of him when he came in was that he's really good in transition. We haven't seen too much of it yet, so hopefully he can just work on those things and just become stronger. It is still early. He's played 3 real games for the club, so he'll grow into the role. But then again, you do have to remember that Dovin is returning, so the position is not guaranteed to be his. So he definitely would want to make sure that he is a very good keeper in the next coming months and just lock that down, just completely make Dovin taking his spot as an afterthought, because then that'll be really good mentally on him and he can help us push for that coveted Premier League promotion, maybe even automatics. The second ice player of the day we are going to talk about is Jay Da Silva. And yes, I know we love our short king, 5'5" or 170 meters. Great presence in the locker room, great guy overall, big hype man, really truly loves the team and the club himself. Been here for, 2 years now. There are some warning signs that I've been getting to see, and I wonder if Miguel Angel Brau will get his opportunities sooner rather than later after seeing him in the Luton FA Cup match. Albeit it was against lesser opponents, I thought Brau played really well, and Brau seems to offer more on the attack than Da Silva. Not to say Da Silva doesn't offer anything on the attack, but it's just that defensively he can look to be a liability sometimes. So if we go and we look at some stats from this match, I mean, eye test looks okay. He was 87% accurate. Tackles 1, he was 3 of 6, which, you know, is okay. 3 clearances, 1 headed clearance, good for him. Bobby Thomas showed that he was incapable of doing that. If you watched this game, you saw that he was definitely a focal point of their offense. There were a ton of lofted through balls. There was a ton of switch of play to the right side. And because of, you know, his stature and his height, he is very strong for his height. I'm not mugging off his strength at all, because for someone who's that short, he is very strong. He has the ability to, you know, body someone off the ball and just hold possession and clear it out. There was one goal, I think it might have been the first goal, where he had a beautiful, beautiful move where he bodied a guy off in the corner, and then instead of just clearing it out, he just passed it down the line, which got right to the Derby defender, leading to them whipping a ball in the box. Again, not exactly sure if it led to a goal or not, but just it's something I didn't like there. But I think ultimately it's his size that is going to come back to hurt him. So what I'll leave it at with Jay Da Silva is, Jay, right now it is your job, but what are you going to do to keep that job? Because there's no guarantee that you are going to be the starter the entire season. There are some, you know, genetic things that make you a bit of a lesser player. Obviously, if you were taller, things would be probably a little bit different, but teams are going to target you. Teams are going to look at you and say that's the weak point of the defense. So what are you going to do to stop them from doing that? Is it that you're going to up your defense? Is it that you're going to improve your offensive output? I mean, you've got EMC down the left with you. That's a great link up. That's a great partnership right there if you can get good chemistry with him. So what are you going to do to make sure that Brow doesn't take your job? A little bit of healthy competition. You love to see it. Maybe the players don't love it as much. We love it as fans, and it definitely gives us an advantage in that position because, you know, God forbid, someone is down, someone transfers out, we have someone else who can step in and do a very good job. All right, third and most controversial ice, the final one, Sakamoto. Sorry, let's go full government. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto, the right winger from Japan. Beloved Coventry player, one of the fan favorites. Now listen, he is out until potentially after the international break. It's looking like that. He felt something in his groin. The second person on the squad, by the way, maybe a little bit concerning, but I did think they did a really good job being careful and ramping the players up. So maybe it was just an unlucky injury. After Sakamoto was benched or, you know, removed from the lineup due to the injury, BTA came in. We'll talk about BTA later this episode. That's a little sneak peek. And he looked really versatile up there. And it made me start to think, does Sakamoto play a little bit too slow? And that is what feeds into our one-dimensional attacking output, where we're just consistently crossing the ball over and over again. Because, you know, you got EMC on the left side who's taking on defenders, getting the ball into dangerous areas, and they don't necessarily always have to come from lifted crosses, where I feel that maybe Sakamoto is more dependent on the cross. And that's not a knock to him. It's just something that, you know, we've done over and over again, and it's really shown that it doesn't really work with whoever is at our striker at the time. On the flip side of things, Sakamoto offers you some really, really positive attributes that many wingers do not show, and that's his work rate, his ability to track back and play defense. So I felt that Milan Van Ewijk got caught out a few more times than he would have normally if Sakamoto were on the pitch. He's always the one slowing down a midfielder, slowing down a winger from making a run, and maybe those things go under the radar, but Sakamoto is a really, really good defender. So it just gives you the thoughts. Is that added defensive work rate worth maybe 80% of what you should be getting out of a winger on the attack? That's just something to think of. I felt like the way that we played against Derby with the front three of EMC, Wright, and BTA was just so forward, direct, just put the ball out and let us run. So Sakamoto has something to prove, because right now, even if he were fit, I would want BTA over there. So that leads us into our fire picks. So Sakamoto, ice for now. Get healthy first off. Second off, show us what you got and show us why you need to be in there, because you did not show us much in the first 2 games, albeit the team didn't exactly look the best, but you did have 2 really, really good opportunities against Hull from right outside the box, and you were not able to even get close to converting. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto, I want to see more from you. Now, flip. Positives now. We've got 2 players, both of them attackers, if you couldn't have guessed it yourself. The first one is Ellison. No, I'm kidding. It's Brandon Thomas Asante. Brandon Thomas Asante is an absolute master of the dark arts, and he has genuinely grown on me at a disgusting rate in the past 2 weeks. The guy just cares. He truly, really does care. You look at him in all the City Unseen videos, all the TikToks that they make, all the highlights. Like, this guy's putting his front foot forward. 130, 50, 9,000% effort at all times, and it just makes it impossible to not root for someone like that. On top of that, the guy is showing his worth. This isn't some charity case. This guy's showing that he's very versatile. In 2 games in the league this season, he's played on the left, played on the right, he's played up the middle. He can press like an absolute motherfucker. He scored a goal. Yes, it was a tap-in, but he was in the right place at the right time, and he had the skill and the grit to stay in the right position, wait for something to happen after that Bobby Thomas header, and tap it in. He got rewarded for it. Accurate passes, 4 of 8. I'm just going to go on the radar right here and say that is absolutely not true. I don't know if it is or not. I felt like he had way more involvement than that. He had that 1.16 XG because he had literally an open net. He just seemed to have been finding himself in the right positions, and I wasn't able to find any stats about this, but he is so good at drawing fouls. It did come back to haunt him in the game against Hull City where he tried to draw the pen and it didn't work. But in the game against Derby, he drew a really good free kick in a dangerous position, which led to that Bobby Thomas goal. Right here. Felt the pressure right down, and then we know exactly what happened 20 seconds later. Never mind, we got an ad, we're not going to watch it. But it's just becoming more and more apparent to me that he does the little things really well, and I think that makes a huge difference. Because right now, if you ask me, I want him on that right wing going forward. Obviously, Sakamoto is injured, so there isn't going to be any competition. There's Rafael there. BTA definitely deserves to be in the squad game in and game out until something else changes. I want him there on the right side. He linked up with the front 3 so well, and when these 3 were firing on the press, on the attack, they were one of the most dangerous in the entire league. I don't care what anyone says. So again, seems to be a common denominator here. I'm very good at segueing, and we are going to segue to another player in the attacking 3. It is Ephron Mason Clark. Now guys, do not take this lightly what I'm saying here. Ephron Mason Clark is primed for a breakout year. Everyone and their mothers knew the skill that he had, but the questions were, is he effective enough? Is it just flair? Is he too injury prone? This guy has impressed me so much this season, even at the end of last season in the playoffs. He is just proving his worth every single day, and it scares me the fact that, you know what, there's a chance this is his last season at Cov, maybe even his last couple months, because this guy is going to be a highly touted prospect come next year. He's in his prime, just entering it, 25 years of age. The question is, can he stay healthy? We shall see. But he was absolutely the player of the match in the last game against Derby. So he played nearly the whole game. He drew the penalty for Haji Wright in the first half, and then took advantage of a sleeping and absolutely exhausted Derby defense from the Milan Van Ewijk cross right to his head, and he tucked it in the bottom corner. It seemed like he caught everyone sleeping. The fact that he was able to show his physicality and just his endurance that late into the game, I really enjoyed it, and I think that he can be one of the dark horses this season for player of the season if things continue in the right direction. And again, definitely not something that should be surprising to anyone that's seen him play before, because we know that he has the skill, but it really wowed me today. I mean, he looked like a Jeremy Doku out there at times, just like flair in his body, elastico, beating defenders, putting dangerous balls into the box. And the difference between him and Jeremy Doku, he's got an end product. So what more can you ask for in a championship side? I am hot on the English winger, Ephron Mason Clark, as well as the right winger / striker, Thomas Asante. So those aren't necessarily the 5 players that I think are the most important going forward, but they're the 5 players that I think can really hoist us up or hoist us down. So I like to see, and I hope to see, positive momentum carried into the next couple games before the international break with Ephron Mason Clark, Thomas Asante. Hopefully he'll get some caps for Ghana. And then on the flip side, I would like to see more from Carl Rushworth. I would like to see more from Sakamoto once he gets healthy. And then I would like to see some grit and some fight from Jay Da Silva, because that position is definitely up for grabs. Maybe not totally, like maybe he has a little bit of wiggle room, but there's no question it's something that Frank and the board talk about when they're planning their tactics. So that is going to be the end of the video today. If you made it to the end, why don't you let me know what you agree and what you disagree with? I'm sure people are going to disagree with certain things, so I would like to debate it below. I like to answer every single comment. If you're here, please subscribe, please like the video, and also if you care, you made it this far, I'll let you know I got a little update. So I'm going to be going on vacation next Sunday. Therefore, I'll be missing the Millwall and the Oxford games. However, I'm not actually missing it. I will be streaming it from my vacation, and then I will be doing post-match videos still at regular timing. I just won't have my beautiful setup behind me. If you haven't seen, we got a nice new little figurine. It kind of looks like Jack Rodoni if you zoom in on it. So thank you if you made it to the end. Like, comment, subscribe, play up Sky Blues, and peace.